Hi everyone, so this video is going to be a review, kind of like an introduction to my Clarisonic. Now the Clarisonic that I chose, it's not the Mia, it's the classic Clarisonic, and I got it in white. I'm not sure if it's available in other colours. The reason I got this one was the place I bought it from within Australia had it available. They didn't have the Mia, they only have the classic, but it was available on part payments, so that's why I bought it, because it was easier for me if I could pay for it monthly. It's not as big of a chunk of a payment straight away, so that's why I bought this one, because I've been looking at getting a Clarisonic for a really long time, and it was kind of at the perfect opportunity. It's affordable for me to do it that way, and it was a 30-day money-back guarantee, so I don't think I'll be using that though, because I am liking it so far. I'll let you know a little bit about my skin, how it's working for me, and I'm also planning on doing a demonstration video to actually show you guys how I use the Clarisonic. So first of all, my skin type. I definitely have combination skin. It's sensitive and acne prone, most certainly. Now my skin, it's not oily. I do have slightly oily patches, but they're by no means oily skin. It's very much combination. I do get very dry and very flaky, particularly across here. I get really bad flaky skin, and all the way across my forehead. My cheeks are fairly normal. They are acne prone, particularly across this area here is acne prone. My forehead and down my nose, so my T-zone, is definitely acne prone. My cheeks are very sensitive. My nose is very sensitive, and so is my chin. The texture of my skin before I started using the Clarisonic, I had a lot of acne. I do have acne scarring, but it's well and truly fading away now. But I have larger pores across my nose. I have flakes and bumps across my forehead. My cheeks are okay. The skin on my cheeks is pretty good. Across my chin I do have quite a few bumps, blackheads, whiteheads. The pores are okay. But apart from that, yeah, just the texture of my skin across here, and yeah, just the flakiness. So basically my skin is dry combination, acne prone and sensitive. I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube for the Clarisonic with people who have oily skin types, but I haven't actually seen that many for people that have dry, sensitive skin, and that's something that I thought would help people if I let you guys know a little bit about that side of it. So first, the results. What I've found is that the texture of my skin has dramatically improved. Whether or not it's the fact that it's allowing the other products to do their job better by absorbing into the skin better, or it's actually working as a really good exfoliant. The one place that I saw the most improvement, and I'm still seeing signs of improvement, is my forehead, across here. Now, I've tried exfoliators in the past, and a lot of people say, well, can't you just use a really good exfoliator, won't it do the same job? And I've used really good exfoliators, and they have worked, and they've worked quite well, but they haven't gotten rid of those little bumps. The bumps that I had were kind of, they're not pimples, they're not whiteheads, they're not poppable, but they're under the skin, they're under the surface of the skin, and they're just raised bumps. So it made the skin appear quite bumpy. I can still feel a couple of them across my forehead, but they're almost completely gone, which I haven't actually tried anything that's gotten rid of them to this extent, and the only thing I've changed in my routine is the Clarisonic. So that's, you know, it's fairly safe to say that that's what's helping. That is definitely the biggest improvement that I've seen, but it has definitely improved a lot. They're almost completely gone. And nothing I've tried before has completely gotten rid of them. They've made them better, but I thought that was as good as it's going to get, but now I can see that there is room for improvement, and it has gotten a lot better, and I'm very pleased with that. Also, the flakiness across my forehead is gone. It comes back if I don't use, because there have been a couple of days where I forgot to use my Clarisonic, or for whatever reason it was in another room and I couldn't be bothered going out and getting it. Within that time I did notice that the flakiness just here and across in this section here came back, but within another day or two of using it, it went away again. whereas before, all the way down here, my foundation would just, and powder or anything that I put on my face would just grab the flakes and accentuate them, making them look a lot worse. And for people with dry skin, you'll know what I'm talking about. So that was improved as well. Across my nose, there aren't any signs of flakiness at all. Maybe just here, just a little bit, just across the tip of my nose, still a little bit of flakiness, but I can live with that. That eventually over time I'm hoping will disappear as well. Considering it's only been 2.5 weeks and there's a couple of days in there which I hadn't used it, then I still think the results are very, very good. And I will continue to use my Clarisonic. I'm not going to be sending it back. I do actually like the way it feels, the way it cleans. It's very fresh, it feels very good on my skin. When I've finished using it, it just feels really clean, and that's what I like about it. I'm all for exfoliating, but this has done a really good job, and I'm quite impressed with it. I will do a close-up shot of my skin to show you guys, and I might do one in a couple of months' time as well, just to see if there's any continual improvement within my skin. That way you guys can actually see something close up. So it is a little bit embarrassing, but I'm going to do it for you so you guys can see what I'm talking about, because these lights, they give the appearance that my skin is really good, and it's the best it's been in a very, very long time, but it's by no means perfect. So I'm going to zoom up and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So first up is my forehead, and as you can see the texture is definitely improved. My fine lines I'm finding are fading, particularly across here. I used to get some of the fine lines, but my skin feels a lot more taut than it used to, and I think that's because the rosehip oil is actually working better than it used to. I use it at night occasionally before I go to bed, but I think it's getting better results since using the Clarisonic, which sounds a little strange, but that's just what I think anyway. You can see the texture is definitely better than it used to be, or I can. You can still see in this section here, particularly just this spot here, there's a few of those little dots like that, and like that, and like that. They used to be about 3 times as big, and all across this section here. So they're mainly just in this little part here, and just over here a little bit as well, but that side's not picking it up as much, but this side is. So that used to be a lot worse, and all the way across. So that's my forehead. As you can see, the flakiness is gone. There is still a little tiny bit of dryness, but yeah, you can just get a really good moisturiser, and that's going to help reduce that as well. So next up is my nose and my cheeks. So this is the embarrassing part. Now, as you can see, my pores are enlarged in this area here. I do have some redness, and you can see the little dry spots kind of reflecting the light. So that's what they look like. Now the texture though of my skin, it is a lot smoother. You can still see a really little bit of dryness, but it's not flaky, it's just dry. My pores, I haven't noticed a massive reduction in the size of my pores, but they do look cleaner than they did before, if that makes any sense. I've still got the discoloration, some of the brown skin marks and the freckles, but I don't really want the freckles to go away. It is a little bit bumpy across here, but pretty good. It's mainly just the freckles that make the skin look a little less clear. The skin actually here is pretty clear, it's just the freckles that make it look a little discoloured. But across here you can see the redness in my face. When I'm using the Clarisonic, I use it on the higher setting, and it hasn't made my face irritated or anything like that either, which I was surprised. I'm using the sensitive skin brush head, and that's worked quite well. So that's my nose and my cheeks. And last up is my chin. So you can see that the texture of my chin, it has gotten better, but it's still not great. I do get some spot breakouts around here. And there, that section there as well. Some blackheads across here and up there. So that's my skin up close and personal. The areas that I've seen the most results so far is on my forehead and down my nose. My chin has improved slightly, but not as much as my nose and my forehead has. My cheeks are about the same. They do feel smoother, but they look about the same. But the noticeable difference is definitely my forehead and my nose, with the texture of my skin being a lot smoother, not as flaky, which is one of the things that I would have liked to have happened, and it has, so that's good. I'm going to see how my chin goes with the breakouts and things like that, and maybe play around with the types of cleansers that I'm using. I am using my Clarisonic normally once or twice a day, so I'm not quite sure if that's excessive, but that's what I've been doing, and considering my skin is quite sensitive, I haven't had any problems with that, no redness. Even the first time I used it, I didn't get any redness. And I started on the lower setting, but I found that I liked it better on the higher setting. So I actually use it on the higher speed, and that's been no problem for my skin at all. So that's it for this video. I will be doing a demonstration video that might help some of you out a little bit more, showing you how I actually use the product. But apart from that, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them below and ask me, and I can get back to you. Also, if you want me to focus on something in my next video, because I'll do a comparison between now and maybe say a month, 2 months down the track, see if there's any improvement now that you've seen me close up. You'll be able to see for yourself if you think there is, because I understand that it is a lot of money to be spending on a skincare item, or tool, I guess. But for me, I think it's a really good product. I do think it's expensive though. I'm not quite sure if it's worth the money. I do love the results, but I still acknowledge that it is very expensive, and I just wonder whether or not there are cheaper products out there that do work as well. But I'm happy with it. I am going to keep it, and I do like it. I just think that it is a bit expensive for what it is, but I am happy with the results. So I don't feel ripped off, but I would have felt a bit better had it cost a little bit less than what it does, if that makes sense, because it is very expensive, which is a shame, because I think it's a decent product, and I think if it was a bit cheaper, more people would have access to it, but that's the way it works, isn't it? But anyway, that's it for now. So I'll be putting up a demonstration as soon as I've filmed it, so maybe next weekend, or you know, sometime during the week upcoming. We'll see. I'll let you guys know. You'll see it come up anyway. But I hope this was helpful for you guys, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!